Do you know what a user action pseudo-class is? Well, today you're going to learn. So a user action pseudo-class is applied whenever a user takes an action against an element for which it's applied. So let's take a look at the very first one, the hover pseudo-class. Now a hover pseudo-class is applied whenever a user hovers over an element, doesn't click on it, just hovers over it with a mouse. So as you can see here, I've got an anchor tag here and it just doesn't go anywhere. But whenever I hover over top of it, you can see that the mouse cursor changes to this pointer, and that's to denote that you're supposed to be clicking on it, and that is what's considered a hover pseudo-class. But how do we apply these things? Well, let's head over to the CSS and see how we do it. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to select the element for which we want to apply the hover pseudo-class. So in this case, we're just going to apply it to that anchor tag. So we'll select the anchor tag, and then we'll add a colon in there. And this colon is to denote that this is going to be a pseudo-class or a pseudo-element, whichever it might be. It's going to be a pseudo-class. So we're going to add the colon in there, and we're just going to say hover. And we'll open and close our curly braces, and let's say we want to change the text color to black whenever it is hover. So whenever I hover over this now, you can see that the text color is now changing to black. And we can apply this to just about anything, including headers and text and even the body. So let's do it one more time. We'll do a paragraph this time, and let's just add some lorem ipsum text in here. And we'll go ahead and save that. Now we can select that from the paragraph, and we'll again add our hover pseudo-class, and we can change the text color to green. So now anytime that we hover over the text, it's going to be changed to green. Now it doesn't matter if I click on it, if I select it, whatever. It's still going to change to green as long as I'm still hovering over top of it. Now another type of pseudo-class is going to be the active pseudo-class, and this is what happens between the time that you mouse down and you mouse up. So whenever I hold my mouse button down on this button, you can see that the background changes its color to white, and it changes back to that slight gray color whenever I mouse back up. Now let's go ahead and add another active pseudo-class to this button. We'll go over to the CSS and we'll select our button, and we will add that active pseudo-class, and we'll just change the text color to pink. And whenever I save that, you can see that if I hover over top of it, it doesn't do it, but whenever I click on it, it changes that text color to pink, and whenever I let up on it again, it changes it back to black. That is the active pseudo-class activating. And normally this would be something that you would add to a button or a link, but we can add it to just about anything. So let's go ahead and create us an H3, and we'll add some lorem text in there. Go ahead and save that, and then we can select that H3 over here and add our active pseudo-class. And whenever we click on that, we want to change the color to blue. So whenever we click on that, and you can see the color is changing to blue. Now the next pseudo-class that we're going to take a look at is the focus pseudo-class, and this is generally applied to things like text boxes whenever it receives a focus from either a keyboard or a mouse. So I've got here a text box and a label. Now to add the focus pseudo-class, we're going to head over to the CSS, and we're just going to select that input, and we're going to add the focus pseudo-class to it, and let's say we want to change the background color to red whenever that text box is focused. So whenever I click on the text box, I give it focus, and that background color is going to be changed to red. Now there's one more I want to take a look at. It's not my favorite one, nor do I use it a lot, but it does come in handy from time to time, and it's called the focus within pseudo-class. So the focus within pseudo-class works exactly like the focus pseudo-class, but it works with children elements as well. So if any of the children elements receive focus, it's considered the whole thing receives focus. So let's take a look at it and see how it works. So I've got here a simple form, and I've got a few labels and inputs inside of it. So let's go over to the CSS, and the first thing we want to do is we want to select that form. So we're going to say .form to select that class. Now we're going to use the colon, and we're going to say focus within, just like that. And let's say we want to change the background color to red. Now if I focus any of these inputs, the background color will change to red, and I can do that for just about any one of them. Now let's step it up a notch a little bit. Let's say we want to also change the background colors of those input elements. So how do we do that? Well, let's say we want to select the form, and we want it to focus within, and we want to select the children elements. So how do we do that? We select the inputs, just like that. So now, whenever we focus within the form, we're going to select the inputs and change the background color to, let's say, green. So now, anytime that I focus one of these fields, not only does the background color of the form change, but also the background color of the input. So if I focus this, you can see that the background color of the form has changed to red, and the background color of the input has changed to green, all three of them. And that's it for user action pseudo-classes. If you did like the video, make sure you slap a like on it. Check out the full playlist, link is right there. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.